Hi, my name is Rick and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about how I went from a divorce and being broke, not a very good paying job, and to a homeowner and a 700 plus credit score. So let's get into that. So in 2019, when my son was going off to college, I decided I was going to start a new career. I ultimately chose truck driving, and it was going to allow me to save some money. My son was going away to college. I was going to get rid of the apartment that we had and throw stuff in storage and just get on the road and save money. Ran it by my son. He was fine with it. So that was the journey that got me started into a better paying career. The first year, maybe year and a half, wasn't that great. But then I was able to switch into another company that I got paid better. And I continued to work on my credit score and save money because I knew ultimately I would want to buy a house again. So I started out with what are called secured credit cards. So I started out with a Discover secured credit card. My credit rating and credit score were shot. I'd been through some hard times, and so I was in the process of rebuilding that. Some of the things just were years old and just needed to fall off, needed time to pass, but also I needed to rebuild my credit. So the best way to do that was through a secured credit card. And so I got a Discover credit card. I think I started. If you don't know what a secured credit card is when you put money down as like a deposit on a credit card, and that's what creates the security. They use that as collateral so that if you aren't able to pay back, and they only give you a limit up to that dollar amount. So I had a limit of $300, and if you don't pay it back, then they use that money as collateral. So I had that for about a year. They ended up bumping me up to I think $1,000 limit and said they were going to return my deposit. So I got the deposit back, and then I just let time go by and save money, keep working, and I think I applied to other credit cards, but just ultimately in my experience, the best way to do it is once you start getting your credit back on track, you're going to get advertisements for in the mail for pre-approvals. And in my opinion, that's the best way to get approved, because I have had times where I thought, okay, my credit's good enough at a certain point, and then I applied for a credit card like a Chase card because that's one of the better credit cards, and they denied me at that point. So fast forward, I just let time pass. I waited. I eventually got one other card. It's a company I never heard of before, but I did a little research. They seemed like they were legit. I don't want to just give my information just to anybody. So I made sure they were legit. I don't remember what it was, maybe $1,500 credit card for that one. So I'm moving up a little bit. I'm pacing myself and rebuilding that credit slowly but surely. It's going to take time, and it's going to take just being on time, of course, time and paying your credit card on time, no late payments whatsoever to rebuild it. So that's the process I started, and then eventually, a couple other credit cards came in, and I slowly started building some of those up, and then fast forward to 2021, I got a better paying job, like I said, so I was making more money. I was able to pay more or save more money. I did a Roth IRA, and I was participating in my work 401k. But these are just ways to save money because I knew I wanted to buy a house or invest in real estate regardless. And so the next step was, after I got that better paying job and just kept saving money, kept staying in my truck, would stay with my daughter on the weekend or my brother's house just to save money, because I worked in LA, which was too far from where I had lived. So I just stayed in the truck during the week. So I continued to save money, and then just my credit slowly started building up. Right, slowly started building up. Then fast forward to 2021, had some things going on with friends and family, just deaths and things like that. So that kind of slowed me down, and I wasn't focused on moving, because ultimately my goal was to move out of state, which Now, if you know, I reside in Texas and I was from California. So fast forward 2020, late 2021, I'm looking at transferring my job to come out to Texas, um, and then I was able to do that, so I came to San Antonio. And in the meantime, I was talking to realtors and lenders, and to my surprise, my credit had gotten into like the low sixes at that point, and a lender was able to qualify me for an FHA loan. So I was excited about that. And this was when still the interest rates were not too high, and it was still when the market was hot. So I got pre-approved. I decided I was going to come to San Antonio. I spoke to my realtor, Ruben Galindo, who was on the Bigger Pockets podcast. He's an investor and a realtor as well. And so I hooked up with him. We went house shopping when I got here, had a week before I had to start working again. And the market was just still hot. I was an FHA loan, so um, I wasn't the first pick of the litter, so to speak. And so we just kept putting in offers. I want to say we put 8 to 10 offers in and just kept getting somebody else's offer accepted ahead of us. And then ultimately, when it came to the house I'm in now, the 4-bedroom house I'm in now, I actually didn't win the first. I didn't get the first offer accepted on this house. But what happened was, so a week or two passed, and then the realtor for the seller called my realtor and said, "Hey, these other people are asking for too much stuff. Does your client want the house?" Because I was like second runner up in my offer, and he called me and I said, "Yeah, definitely." So I was able to get under contract because the other people were asking for too many things to be fixed, and there's nothing really wrong with this house. Some paint and some carpet and some basic stuff, but nothing was wrong with it. So that's how I got the house. I got a house for I paid $292, and which is high for San Antonio, but it's what was happening in the last few years with people moving from out of state, like myself. So that's ultimately what happened. That's how I got in my house. And then I've been in the house 2 years now, so just continue to pay my credit cards on time, try to keep that balance ratio low, below 30 or 20%, and that helps your credit score. And my credit just kept growing and growing and growing. And then ultimately, I ended up getting offers from like American Express, which I've never in my life haven't been able to have an American Express card. I applied years ago when my credit was good. I always got denied. So I ended up getting an American Express card, which is considered one of the top level credit cards. And then most recently, that Chase Bank credit cards that I applied for previously and got denied, well, they sent me a pre-approval later on. And then I got approved for the Chase Sapphire credit card. So now I have Chase too. So these are higher end credit cards that are only given to people with better credit scores. And then just keeping a watch on your credit file, make sure there's nothing that's not yours that's on your credit, and just make sure everything looks good and continue monitoring it. And with time and with paying on time, that's how I was able to get. I haven't checked in about a month, but I think I'm 720 or something like that, close to it. So that's a pretty darn good credit score coming from 2, 3 years ago where I was divorced and broke and credit score in the 500s. So if that is something that you're working towards, I applaud you, and I say just keep going, and don't worry about everything else. Just focus on that, save money, work on your credit, and you can do it too. So I appreciate you tuning in for this little video about how I boosted my credit score, and we'll see you next time.